So the one place in your home where you're constantly opening and closing encasement is your door. Now, doors over time, though you may have set them well and they were snug against the door jamb, may end up developing cracks. You may get a warping of the door of the jamb, and you may find that the seal is not tight. The air will infiltrate through certain portions of the jamb. It used to be that you would take a piece of thin felt, line it up, and while you were holding it, you would try to take a small finishing nail, and half the time hitting your thumb, nail the nails through and snug up the felt. However, today we have a much more efficient material that we use that's made out of rubber and is almost like a gasket. And this material usually comes in a row. Originally, it was the width of both these pieces in case the jamb was 3/4 of an inch wide. However, as you'll notice on this older jamb, I don't need both pieces. So I've merely found the scoring and separated them. The other convenient aspect of this material is that with a simple pocket knife, I can go ahead and make a slice and adjust the length. So at this point, let's go ahead and apply what I have. I'm going to go ahead and first wash the surface off with a damp napkin and then wipe it with the dry end just to make sure that dust, cobwebs, other things that may have developed come off clean. You can see the accumulation right here. That would inhibit the ability of the adhesive from sealing well. Let me mention also while I clean this that though the adhesive is fairly sticky and it's a fairly strong tape, to make this last, I would obviously go ahead and try different types of maybe glues. And every 3 inches or so on the back of the gasket material, put a dot of glue. Now, I'm simply going to go ahead and fold this back. And as I go, I'm going to go ahead and unfurl the protective layer. I want to make sure that this is fairly snug, not only flat against the jamb here, but snug up against here. So I will find a point, pinch, and when it looks like everything's snug, I'll firmly apply pressure. I'll go ahead and pull the tape. I'll find a point with some tautness in the gasket, push down, apply pressure. You can see that this is much easier and not as time consuming as using a hammer with a type of flexible material like felt. The nice thing about this material too is that you can paint over it if you want to. And in addition, if you need to cut out a certain portion because of part of it starting to get worn down or starting to break the top surface due to maybe an irregularity in your door, you can cut that piece out and put a new piece in. Applying pressure. Again, if I had a certain type of adhesive with me, every 3 inches I would put a dot of adhesive. Now in this situation, I want to miter or come in at an angle. So with my knife, I'll go ahead and simply saw off the residue blocked piece of gasket material. making a 45-degree angle. Coming back in and overlapping slightly this gasket material, I can apply and put it in. And as I mentioned, one of the advantages is that even though my strip was not long enough in this particular case, I can go ahead and take off of the other strip now by measuring and simply slicing and adding a piece in there. Here you have a mitered corner. Now, even though I still have some to add here for now, really the important place that I want to test and make sure that the gasket material isn't going to be too tight is down by the strike plate. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the door, and we'll see if there's somewhat of a sponginess or a give, and whether the door fits snug and yet not too tight. Let's take a look. Now I should be able to simply apply a little bit of pressure to the left or the right, and it should open right up. And having said that, let's see if it's secure against the door jamb. Not much give at all. Now I will go back with a cutout piece and just add this in.